Good morning, Pulsicans. How are we doing on this Thanksgiving pump week? I hope you guys are excited because I am pumped today because today we got the man, the myth, the legend, the one and freaking only Crypto Coffee in the house to come and spread some good Pulse Chain love. What is up, brother man? How are you feeling today?
I'm good, dude. Good to see you. Stuff is
Yeah.
pumping. Exciting times to be in the ecosystem. So got my popcorn and I'm just watching the show.
Absolutely, man. It's quite exciting with, since Trump has kind of won the election. Now, he's not inaugurated, he's not in office yet, but man, we've just seen nothing but fireworks kind of take off, and including our ecosystem. I feel like we're even doing a little bit of a front running of altcoin season. I could be wrong about that, but man, and then Jim Cramer called the perfect top on Bitcoin. That was crazy. Before it rolled over to 100K, he was like, that's when he got bullish. And so I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is the period where ETH will start, the ratio starts to flip on Bitcoin? Because that's what a lot of people are waiting for.
Yeah, it feels like that. We've got the inverse oracle, Jim Cramer, calling for everyone to go buy Bitcoin at 98K. So what did we dip to 92 or something? Everybody got liquidated. There was like a mass $600 million liquidation just today or last night, maybe.
Wow.
Because everybody was, I guess, long, and so you need to let some air out of the tires and like let things flow into alts and everything right now. Ethereum kicked up to 3,500 while Bitcoin was dipping, and that hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're on the cusp of a turnaround. We're also, if you look at the ratio chart, we're kind of hitting a support resistance line. If you go all the way back to like several years ago, the 0.033 line is kind of a support.
Right.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if, ETH finally gets its time to shine. Everybody's doubting it. I mean, really, I think you just got to wait. I think people just got to be more patient, and it's going to happen. Ethereum's not going anywhere. It's got the strongest developer community. It's where like all the original innovators are. Solana's kind of the hot shiny thing, but
Sure.
look at Pumped Out Fun. I mean, it's getting really out of control. I don't know if you've seen some of this stuff.
Yeah,
it is getting out of control.
live streaming.
I saw a guy like eating his own shit out of a toilet bowl. It was fucking. I had to turn. I'm like, that's enough internet for the day. Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, I saw the little kid, he rugged like $2,000 or something like that. I don't remember how much it was, but he was like 12 years old. And I just saw pictures of him all over Twitter giving the bird. I'm just like, what?
It's truly the blind leading the blind over there. It's like, this little kid is what you're going to listen to?
Right.
And then the funny thing is it pumped afterwards, I think, because
they're saying that. Yeah, they're saying they're trying to, it's a community takeover, and they're trying to, pump it to multiple $1 million market cap. So it, they can shove it in the kid's face. Like,
there's a lot of desperation, a lot of like, but sometimes like 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, maybe it works out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad I don't have to worry about those type of things going on in my portfolio because I don't participate in that kind of
right. I mean, look, if you really are tempted, go put $200, go put like one Solana into Pumped Out Fun and see how quickly it goes. I've tried it before.
Have you?
I've tried it before. Yeah, I mean, it just like it was a terrible, garbage, awful experience. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with my Pulse Chain coins. Even a meme coin on Pulse Chain, like at least they're not totally fucking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally what my to scratch that degen itch, if you will. And I talk about it on the show all the time. These guys know that I really believe in the 90-10, kind of how Sami talks about 90, core portfolio, 10% lottery tickets. And a lot of those lotteries, they're just meme coins and other ecosystems in Pulse Chain. Mm-hmm. And I have no problem allocating capital towards, other coins or even memes. I don't mind that line. In fact, I even do a little bit on Ethereum, and all these guys know, like, I'm doing Alti. People, they know here I have gone in and bought bottom and sold top of Titan X, I think 3 times now, which is
really,
yeah.
Well done.
I've been able to nail that one pretty good, which has been nice. We're looking at maybe at a local bottom or close to it right now on the chart. And I might buy back in again. I'll put another $5,000 in. It runs up to 15, 20. I take profits and I bring that shit right over to Pulse Chain.
Yeah, you could swing trade Titan, or I mean, I'm gonna like roll mine into Alti. What little I had.
That's what I'm doing too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. So when that one launches, you guys, if you want the 33%, it's altiriches.com is my referral code for that. If you guys are interested, I'm sure you got one copy. I'm not sure if you do or not, but
I'm probably just going to do self referrals. I mean, I feel like if you can do a self refer, everyone might as well do a self refer, or use Corey's if you want, whatever.
Altiriches.com. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to go there and participate, might as well get some extra coins. So, you know what's a really cool chart, copy, and I like to show this chart on the show. In fact, I show it every day. I call it the secret chart. And I really want to show it to you because I think you'll really appreciate this particular chart. Let me share screen real quick. Secrets. Yeah. My secrets is I keep shit simple as hell, man. Really simple. And this is one of my favorite charts that I like to keep a very close eye on. And this is just Pulse measured against ETH on the weekly on a line chart. This is it. Like, it is, I mean, this is multiple months down here, right? This is when we capitulated to the very bottom against ETH. And then we've got very good formation. Here's a nice W that you hear Hans talk about all the time with a higher low coming in. And then, you know, now we're kind of retracing a little bit. And that's because ETH's starting to finally catch a bid, thank God.
Kind of looks like a swan.
Yeah. But this, man, this really keeps me level-headed. So when you hear all the FUD or you're seeing all the bullshit on Twitter, like literally, if you're bullish on ETH, like, and I don't know who in their right mind wouldn't be, in my opinion, even though people are like, oh, ETH is dead because of Solana and because Uniswap is leaving them. No, that ETH is not dead. They are definitely a blue chip. The ETFs are going to be positive. And ETH will be just fine this cycle. Even if it's remotely fine, this chart tells me that we are setting up to be massive leverage on ETH, where we are creating a very strong foundation. So just one of those charts that I like looking at. You can see the big drop off after the launch. Yeah. And then, you know, coming in, zooming in, man, this is definitely a bottoming formation. Even if you put the candles on, you can kind of see it. But yeah. So it's one of my favorite charts, man, to kind of keep me level-headed. When FUD was going around, now, you know, we're not seeing so much FUD right now because things have been pumping, but I love that chart, man. It's really just zooming out, keeping things simple, knowing that, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. Unless for some reason ETH goes to zero, which I don't see that happening.
I think everyone's in trouble, no matter what coin you're in, if ETH goes to zero.
Yeah, exactly. There's something else bigger going on in the world where that means Bitcoin's probably crashing, everything's crashing, and, you know, crypto might not be our biggest concerns anymore at that point.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think zooming out, keeping it simple, just taking a bird's eye view and just being able to breathe. Like, the more you're on social media and like more you're on the 15-minute chart, the 1 hour chart, I find that that's just for my personal lifestyle. Look, if you want to be like full-time staring at the charts 8 hours a day, I don't want to. Because I want to have a life. Like, I got into crypto for the freedom to do what I want to do. And what I want to do is not be, quote unquote, in the trenches, locked in 24/7. But some people do. Yeah, some people do. And that's fine. But, you know, it does help to take a longer time frame, like weeks and months. The weekly, monthly chart is, you know, it looks good.
It looks great, man. We have great formations showing on there that I think, man, our ecosystem is going to be going parabolic. And I think it's going to happen somewhere around January-ish, February-ish. Of course, this is never financial advice, guys. I'm just a dude on the internet who speculates on his own money. That's all I am.
Me too.
Yep, that's it. You know, like Sami says, you can go buy stocks and bonds for all I care. But
yeah.
I know what I'm doing with my money because I see the greater picture. I mean, I feel very strongly, and I could be wrong about this too. I feel like the case will be dismissed, you know, and that's one of the rocket thrusters I talk about on the show. I tell you, there's 5 rocket thrusters that are going to send us to the moon. One's already happened, and that's Trump getting into office. That's the biggest one, in my opinion. People were like, "Oh, Richard R. court date." Yeah, Richard court date didn't really do much except for it was a good outcome. Now a dismissal or clarity, that is what I call rocket thruster number 2. That would do absolutely amazing. I think rocket thruster number 3, though, more importantly, would pump our price, and that's Richard streaming again. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions about this. They think that, we don't need him to stream. We have our own community now that streams. But every company, every corporation has leadership. Communities have leadership, and humans feel lost without leadership. And I feel like with him beating the drum again and screaming with his microphone, if that's what he wanted to use, he would pump the living shit out of price. And I think that would pump price harder than him bringing in his own Ethereum or doing whatever.
Well, to me, that basically happens as soon as the case is over. In my head, like that's my most realistic prediction is like the minute the case is over, maybe even the day after, or maybe the day of, like he probably would stream to get that glory, to gloat and say, look, I beat the SEC. I fought for your rights and all this stuff. He's not going to just sit back forever. And I think like people that haven't ever seen him regularly stream, or people that maybe only know from the outrage marketing phase, they don't know kind of like he actually cares about his community a lot. And so they haven't, I do challenge people, like go watch some old streams if you want to get a sense of who the guy is, some debates, some old streams. He's not the type of person that's just going to sit out. If he beats the case, why wouldn't he go instantly right back online and say, look guys, I did it. Like, so that's not really a worry to me. It's just more of a, how long are we going to have to wait?
Yeah, it's a win. Absolutely, man. And then the last one, I tell everybody, because I know they're testing this on PulseX testnet v4, and maybe you could shine a little bit of light if you know anything, is the privacy pools. Are they from what I heard, they're testing privacy pools over there. We would be the first EVM chain with privacy, kind of like Monero with smart contracts, which would be really cool. We'd be first to the party with something. Do you know anything about that? And if you do and you're not allowed to talk, that's fine too. I understand.
I don't really have any insider information other than, being at the court case, like stuff that just being an insider in the community. We know more stuff than people outside the community, but there's not a whole lot more than what was found on chain, which was, they were messing around testing with privacy pools. Privacy pools is an OFAC compliant privacy software, which would give everybody privacy, which would be amazing. But also, if you want to get conspiratorial, it would also give Richard Heart privacy, so people wouldn't be tracking his bags and hoping for him to pump everything. And then let's see. Basically, all I can say is that it's in beta on Ethereum. So I don't know if it's even ready, like for Pulse Chain. I think it theoretically works though. I actually should probably go test it on Ethereum, but there's a working product.
Okay.
I just don't know if they've forked it. I think they have on Pulse Chain v4 testnet. That was on Richard Heart's to-do list back in the day. I remember. We're gonna add some PulseX stuff, some privacy stuff, and you remember that. So
I remember that, and it would
be a nice little surprise when that happens. Maybe it already is around. I haven't seen any on-chain evidence.
Okay, I mean, because like you said, it would give him the capability. I think he's building it out of necessity, because we saw it. I saw it the last January when we were running up. Obviously, we all know there were some funds coming in from wallets that we love, and people were front running that wallet. I have some of my closest buddies who have been on my show, and he's even mentioned it. Like, he loves watching the blockchain and front running that wallet. And it's like, he doesn't want that. Like, that's the worst thing. He's like, man, God, all they do is front run me and then dump after I buy. Like, that's the last thing he wants. Plus other whales, giving the capability of other whales of coming in, play around in our ecosystem, play with all these new shiny toys that we got in a non-disclosed way would be freaking phenomenal. It would have I think we would see some really big splashes if privacy pools came to Pulse Chain. So
that'd be awesome. I agree.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. So out of all the 5 rocket thrusters, in my opinion, only one has launched, and that is the freaking Trump, coming into office. I mean, if all 5 get fired off this cycle, man, that's where I never make any price projections, but like maybe some of your other influencers who have moon math might come to fruition, or partly to fruition if all 5 of those events happen. It would be insane, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, price predictions are very arbitrary. Everybody's always wrong. We're all just guessing, no matter what people say. Watching somebody's face say it on a YouTube channel doesn't give it much more than somebody tweeting it out. It's just, yeah, I'd love for Paul Shane to go to 1 penny. Well, how about 1 penny? But then if it doesn't, you can't be like, oh, he said 1 penny, he was wrong. Like you're just
right.
You got to make your own decisions and think for yourself, and only you press the buy button at the end of the day. A lot of people don't want to take responsibility sometimes.
No, they don't. They want to be able to just like have someone else do everything for them, or be able to blame. This is one of the biggest problems, not only in crypto, it's definitely in crypto, but just in life in general. People playing the victim and blaming outside circumstances for their behavior, right? For what they've done in their life. I mean, look, man, I threw 115 grand. I mean, people know this. I threw 115 grand in the PulseX sacrifice, and I obviously went down 90%, but never did I once like go MF people on Twitter talking about, oh, I got scammed or Richard scammed. No, what I do, I realized I made a mistake. I came in too heavy while we're still in the last bull run. So the way that I fixed that mistake is I dollar cost averaged in heavily there towards the bottom. That's the only way it was going to be.
You think you're around your break-even price right now?
Yeah, I am.
Perfect. See, there you go. If you double down at the bottom, and we're off the floor by what, at least about a 2x in PulseX and maybe a 3x, maybe a 2x in Pulse as well.
Yep.
So
another crazy story. When I came into, obviously it was around the PulseX sacrifice. I threw that money in there. Hex. My first buy on Hex was 33 cents, man. And it was a heavy buy. But I was able to dollar cost average so much in at the bottom that I think my cost basis now, and of course this with the fork, is around 1.5 cents. Now 1.5, 1 point, I have to redo the math again. But I mean, that's where it shows you could really mess up your initial buying, and you could fix it by coming in and just dollar cost averaging. And so, yeah, that's what one thing, people love to blame and say, oh, you're the reason why I bought high. Man, you're the reason why you bought high. It's your fault. Fix it.
Well, yeah, I think that's some nice common sense wisdom, Corey. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, look, all this stuff, the essential thesis hasn't really even changed. All the products are the same. The community's gotten stronger. We survived a dip. We got more viral. We got more people at the bottom. I think more people probably entered than left. Some people definitely left, and that's actually good. They need to get rinsed out because then we can go back up again. But, I think we're right at the cusp right now. We're just right on that hockey stick. And there's all kinds of cool things. I mean, there's other coins pumping too. Mostly PDAI and UFO are the two that I've been focused on. Those are super interesting right now.
They're fascinating, man. Especially and we could touch on the PDAI narrative. These guys know how I feel about it. I've mentioned it on my show before. I don't really buy into the net. I don't buy into the narrative that Richard is controlling the MakerDAO and he wants to make this stable coin. I know Sami's beating that drum like crazy right now. Like every video he's doing is around trying to prove evidence of PDAI, fitting that narrative. To me, it's like, Sami, you're just telling me you have a massive bag of PDAI.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that I have a bag. I've been talking about for at least like 6 months now. I've said, in case I'm wrong, that I am doubtful. Like every time I do look at the chain analysis, and shout out to the guys doing the chain analysis because it's very interesting, but it usually leaves me with more questions than answers. So, like a Tornado Cash wallet funded some of these initial wallets. Like, do we know that's Richard's? I mean, there's some assumptions being made. But anytime you raise a concern, people will go after you and say, oh, you're asking questions. Why aren't you just blindly following? And it's like, you can do both. You can have a bag and still be skeptical. It is totally okay. And like, get however many millions or hundreds of thousands that you'd be happy with if that pegged, and then just enjoy the ride. I mean, I'm admitting that I don't know what I don't know. So none of this stuff.
Yeah, and you're a pretty smart guy when it comes to crypto. You've been in this game for quite a while.
Well, it's just like a very kind of a simple, if it pegs, then and you've got $1 million PDAI, wouldn't you be happy with $1 million? I would be if that happens, and I just have $1 million, and then all these other people magically have, not magically, but if all these other people theoretically get a million, millions of dollars, if there's enough, if Richard uses like billions of his collateral, and if he puts in deca millions of liquidity to bond it. But I remember back in the day, people saying, "Oh, he's gonna peg E-Hex and P-Hex," and then he didn't do that, or like I don't know, he's not like he's a really he's like our religious figure in the ecosystem, but he's not totally perfect. And we've seen some small bugs, but Pulse X V1 V2, for example. But then other people will say, "Well, that was all intentional by design." I'm like, was it? I think there's a lot of like. I worry that we're giving him a little too much credit, even though, look, I'm super deep in this ecosystem. But going back to the logic side of things, get your million, get your 2 million, whatever would make you happy. I mean, I've been saying that for months now that I have a small bag relative to my normal bag. If it pegs, then that small bag becomes a really big bag. And then if somehow there's enough liquidity, all that P-Dive, some of that gets routed to buying and pumping the core coins. And all these meme coins, the whole ecosystem goes absolutely crazy. It would be so glorious. It would be so insane that I wouldn't want to be selling my core coins while they're lower to go chase the thing that's pumping. I mean, maybe you'll get a better entry if, let's say hypothetically, the maker proposal ends and then everyone's expecting Richard to put up some backing right away. What if he just doesn't? What if he just waits for a couple months? You might get a little cool off period. Or you might not. It might just go straight to $1, and then I'm wrong, and that's okay.
Okay.
But like, I'll need to just see I'll need to see money coming in to back that, like significant money from an actual Richard wallet, and then I'll be like, okay, it's happening. That's fine.
And I think you hit the nail on the head when what people don't understand is, and this was what makes me most excited. If P-Dive really does peg to the dollar, right? Like that's what happens. And voila, you have $1 million if you have a million P-Dive, right? That's great. But imagine what it's going to do to, like, I think you touched on it, all the core coins, all the other meme coins, all just the ecosystem as a whole, as far as pumping the living crap out of it. I mean, you think that P-Dive is just going to sit there and people are not going to sell and take profits and go into the other things that they love? So I think you hit the nail on the head, man. Be careful chasing that. Especially if you're selling core coins to go chase that, because core coins will probably be what pumps the hardest if P-Dive pegs to $1.
Yep. And that's all you got to do. Just get your bag, whatever you're happy with. And like I said, I've had some DAI that was forked over, and then I bought some more. Like I can't remember how many months ago, but just in case bag.
Okay. Yeah,
but the thing is, it's like. If you're overextended and it doesn't work, you're just going to be sad. And like, if it does work and you have a little bit, then that little bit becomes a lot, and everything else you own pumps like crazy.
Like crazy. That would be insanity. I would. Yeah. Oh my God.
It would be such a glorious thing. Like, it makes me so happy to think about, because I'm like, wow, that would truly be Richard's masterpiece. Because we know Richard's the kind of guy that does have a plan. He is playing chess. He's thinking a couple steps ahead. But there's other things, and look, everyone's just going to get angry. So like, I don't want to like dissect every little on-chain movement, but a lot of these things can be interpreted from, you could put yourself on the side of a non-believer, and you could put yourself on the side of a believer, and you could look at some on-chain evidence and take it either way. In order to not mid-curve it, have a bag just in case, whatever you're happy with. And if, don't be overextended, but don't sit it out and like completely. But that's my 2 cents. Everyone can do whatever they want with their money.
Absolutely. And they want to go all in on P-Dive. I would not recommend that. But if they want it, they could. I mean, it's part of my 10% lottery that we talk about all the time in my portfolio. That's where it belongs, right? It belongs a place right there. So it's and who knows? Maybe it does. That would be interesting. Also, with the wrapped Bitcoin that was forked, people are talking about, it's going to, Richard's going to use it to market Pulse Chain because he's gonna peg it to, I don't know that's what Sami was saying about creating liquidity pools to get it pulled up to Bitcoin's price. And I'm like, yeah, did you forget that Richard also did a Christmas video where he fudded the wrapped copy Bitcoin because it has admin keys?
Yeah, like there's a company called BitGo that may probably be able to invalidate those. I mean, look, can they still pump? Yes. Are they? Is the team actually going to invalidate them? Well, probably not anytime soon. But let's say we make enough noise and they get so popular,
Right.
all of a sudden, like some of the real powers, like BitGo or the original maker founders team and everything, like what if they have some power to do some things? You know that. Look, people are going to hate that because you're not just saying, yeah, it's going to peg for sure. In order to play the uncertainty, it's very, very simple. You get some small allocation and then you move on with your day and you just watch. And it's very fascinating.
That's it. And that's it. But people love because they want to go all in on it because they feel like that's a life-changing game to play on Pulse Chain right now.
Well, here think about this, right? It's like if PDI's upside, what is it, 1.5 cents? If PDI has like, let's say a 70x upside, if it pegs, theoretically, there's no cap on the upside of Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Hex.
Right.
They can do more than that, like they have in the past.
Right.
Like if Hex gets to $2, that would be more than a 70x.
It'd be way more, yeah. I mean, what's eHex done then at that point too? You know, it's that's the other.
PulseX is a sleeper right now. You know,
dude, I think PulseX is the sleeping giant right now with the way the price chart looks and the buy and burn. The buy and burn, man. I know people are like, oh, it didn't do anything. Yeah, because it had more sell pressure in the bear market than it had buy pressure. There's no amount of buy and burn. If you have more sell pressure than buy pressure, it's just going to get wrecked. But you're still taking that supply off the market. It's still working in the background. And it will have, I think, a hockey stick effect on the price chart where it was a compound effect of over all this, this entire year that buy and burn has been working. It's going to be glorious when that thing finally breaks out. I could be wrong too. But I think that one, man, I don't know.
It's a good simple narrative for people to understand. Buy and burn, Uniswap with a buy and burn. It's almost like the easiest narrative. And deflationary is something that people like. Inflation become like a bad word to people. So,
I mean, I like to think of it as like almost like true yield because like your bag increasingly, now whether the price chart reflects this or not, but it gets more valuable because of the supply shrinking. And so like, just by you holding the coin, it's like owning shares in a company. The PulseX company, a PulseX decentralized exchange, even though it's not a company, but it's kind of like the same. And you're getting more value from holding that coin. And man, that is powerful to me. I feel like people got pissed off about the single side staking. Oh, it doesn't have single side staking. You don't need it.
That's just sell pressure. That's just permanent sell pressure. I think Richard decided against it because if you don't sacrifice any risk, right? You get incentive coin for taking impermanent loss risk. If you're just staking PulseX single-sided, what are you really risking? You're not really. You're just getting inflation to permadump. I don't know. I just, especially with all those weak hands in the early days, like why would you want to give them a bunch of free coins to dump into your liquidity?
The worst time is that bear market we went through, and Pulse Chain went through a nasty bear market, right? And so it would have been even more brutal. I think to your point, Richard might not be playing this whole 5D chess kind of thing. I think you made a post on this, if I remember right, but he's also not playing checkers. If he was going to launch other features, other upgrades to PulseX, the DEX, whatever, he's going to do it strategically when the market would accept it and when it would pump the price, I think. I think he is doing things like that. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, we've seen basically the entire wave down after he pumped the SAC wallet pumped some of the bags in March, and then we almost had like this perfect curved parabola down of just like letting air out of a balloon, and it was to me. I mean, it's almost like that had to happen because that was just a big washout. We weren't ready to pump yet because if everyone just sold into that, and that's again that goes back to privacy pools because if you do things publicly like that, people will just take advantage.
Yep, they do. They just treat it like a handout. That's all it is. And
maybe you need one handout. Give them a little 3-4x, and then get the 100x later on when everyone dumps.
After you wash them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he tweet something like, "First, I wash out the haters with a spicy tweet"? I mean, a lot of people are talking about. It's so funny because there's so many clips of Richard that are contradictory or like can be taken in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Like he'll say, "Oh, I got a couple tricks up my sleeve," and you're like, "Oh, I wonder if he's talking about P dye," but then he'll also say like, "I will tell you something if you know," and like, "Stop falling for all these stupid stories," and you're like, "Huh." So it's just like you can drive yourself literally insane. Like I've been driving myself insane over the past couple weeks, just trying to find like go down the rabbit hole and then just having some doubt about some one thing that Richard said that contradict another thing that Richard said. Um, at the end of the day, I think you just got to get a bag and surrender to the uncertainty.
That's it. And that's it, man. And let it go. I think, man, if for some reason P dye ended up being that the narrative came true, the P maker coin is probably the most undervalued when you compare them. Why it's only up like a 30 or 40x from its bottom of the chart from being, the forked version of it. And I think that one would be the undervalued sleeper if the narrative came to be true. So
what's the maker
maybe
price? The regular maker was 1730, and then
yeah,
P maker
it's like $39 or $37.
1730. Let's see. That's about a 43. That's like only a 43x away. I don't know. I think the move with P Maker was buy it before the proposal. Buy it before the proposal and sell it during the proposal or something. Buy the rumor, sell the news.
Oh, I love that. When is do you know when the proposal is?
Well, it's right now. It's currently going on.
Oh,
so it's got 10 days left. Maybe you can go to pulsemaker.win. And of course, this proposal is almost certainly going to go through. I don't even think anybody. Yeah, nobody has voted against it. It'd be funny if like one little token voted against it, but no. I mean, why would anybody? Everybody wants to see it happen. So everybody that's bought the P Maker, they're voting on the new collateral types right now, and 9 days and 23 hours remaining. December 6th, UTC, it will be over, and that's when we're going to see is there any collateralizing, or maybe Richard just maybe he waits 6 months. What would you do if he waited 6 months? Would you lose faith? Or, a lot of people are very certain of it when the price is up, but let's say he just waits. It's just, there's so many things he can do to mess with people. It's like, or he could never do it. He could never do it at all. Who knows?
It's interesting. I think there could be possibly a sell that type news event here towards the end of that 9 days, or even on the P dye. We'll see. I mean, especially if it didn't, like you said, if it didn't go through, or he waits, right? Like, I don't know. That'd be interesting. So that's why I hold mostly core bags is for that reason alone.
But it's good advertising too. Like Richard tweeted about it multiple times. He's tweeted about P dye 4 separate times, and
shit, dude, it's done an 8,000x already.
I know. So you can't deny. Like I was talking to a guy, and he was a smart dude, like a math wizard guy. He had like a graduate degree in math, and he was working for a crypto DeFi company, and not really into Pulse Chain so much. But I met this dude randomly, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I recognize you. Are you from Pulse Chain?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got a bag of P dye. I'm really bullish on that narrative." So it goes. Even Eric Wall, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that.
Even Eric Wall, I don't know if he's trolling, but he might have a bag. Who knows?
I think he's got bags of everything, in my opinion. Like when he makes these bets, I think he buys big bags. That way he's hedged the other way. So like obviously he's got these bets with like KDP for 50 grand. Well, I'm sure he went out when he made that bet. He might even bought the bottom. Who knows? But he bought enough Pulse so that way if it reaches that price target, he's able to sell that and then go and pay KDP, or the other way, he gets paid by KDPs. Why wouldn't you? Like, it's a smart way to basically go and troll everybody and make money no matter what. Like literally, no matter what happens, what outcome happens, he wins. if he hedges the other way.
That's why you can't be making bets publicly. That's so silly. It's just like,
right.
I mean, do whatever you want to do. It's good for engagement. It's good for the clicks. But when you have a hater making a bet with you, it's almost a lose-lose.
Yeah, because
a lot of these guys that make these bets, like they're cowards. They don't even pay up. They'll make the bet and they'll pretend it never happened.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that. Unfortunately, even in our community, we've seen a lot of that, man.
Yeah. Even if you win the bet, you still lose because the guy doesn't pay you or anything.
Yeah.
When you took all that extra risk, if you were going to actually follow through with your word, then you're basically taking all the risk.
Yep. But. All right. How about this one, man? We saw Alex. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. I'm sure you did. Alex come out and talk about a little about, what V2 of Icosa and Hedron.
Excited about it. I've got this Icosa and this Hedron that it would be nice to bridge over and be able to fuse together with just one token. I love where he's going with that. Make people excited about bridging over to Pulse Chain again. Because everyone's got these stakes over there just sitting there, and it sounds very useful.
Very useful. What about the concept, though? He mentioned this, that we'd be able to stake our EHEX over on the Pulse Chain side. I don't know how the hell he's doing that.
No, I don't think that's actually what he said. I don't know. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think I looked into this, and I'm pretty sure I was asking around in the Telegram chat. I don't think he's actually saying you can stake your EHEX on Pulse Chain.
Okay.
That's not what he meant. I think he's more so referring to your Hedron stakes can be ported over.
Okay.
I don't think this has anything to do with, because the staking feature just doesn't work. I mean, there's no way around that.
I don't understand how he.
I don't think that's actually true. I mean, Alex, maybe you can, if you're listening, maybe you can give us a tweet for some clarity, because some people are thinking EHEX will be stakeable on Pulse Chain. I'm pretty sure something that I was reading in Telegram was like, no, that's just a kind of a misunderstanding. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I thought it was done through the new HMI contract, which I mean, I would love it if that was somehow a thing, because then you can put to bed the whole EHEX versus PHEX debate that's been going on in the community for freaking the last year. That's absolutely stupid, in my opinion.
That would be great. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he's actually doing that.
I would love it. It's just like, screw you guys. We can stake our EHEX on Pulse Chain anyways. And I mean, I have way bigger bags of PHEX, but I still have bags of EHEX, man. I feel like it's a great, even if there's no staking over on a Pulse Chain, and it's probably not, right? I'm probably wrong about it, because I could imagine how he'd pull that off. But that, even if not, the fact that EHEX has such low liquidity, has so much few holders than what PHEX has, it would take just, I mean, one semi-okay, doesn't have to be bullish tweet from RH. It could be like, hey guys, did you know if you like EHEX, come over to Pulse Chain. We have that for you, or whatever. Maybe I know he had mentioned that before, but I think like if he were to say something even semi-remotely okay about it, it would moon the shit out of it. It would absolutely, it would go parabolic, and you'd get absolutely mad gains being in that asset. The flip side of the coin is he could do a live stream when he starts live streaming and be like, guys, why are you in EHEX? It's shit. Stop. Like, and then it goes to fucking zero, right? Like, and there's the other side. And it's a very speculative coin for me in that sense. So I put it as part of like my meme position now, even though it's a kind of it's a good size position in my meme side.
Sure.
But because
I'm reading Red Squirrel over here, and he's confirming that as well. Hedron and Icosa are stakeable, not EHEX. That's what I thought, Red Squirrel. So I don't know. Somebody is also saying I stake EHEX on Pulse Chain. Is that possible, sir? What do you mean? I don't know if that's possible. My latest
thing right now.
Not that I know of, but I will say one of my new favorite things to do with EHEX is just, if your stake comes due, maybe sell half for UFO token, bond them together in a liquidity pool. I mean, that token just keeps going up. It's not going to go up forever, but it's a nice yield farm, because not only do you get reflections and fees, but you also get PLS rewards as well. So you're getting like 3 ways of getting rewarded for tying your EHEX to something else. And this new thing seems to be the hot new thing that'll probably continue for the cycle. It is a tax token, and normally I would stay away from a tax token, but these guys have clearly done enough marketing and one thing is building the product, but another thing is getting people in. And I think this is a team that actually understands both of those things. That it's more than just having a cool contraption, but they've actually been able to siphon enough economic energy to keep their coin up for so long.
Yeah, 120%, man. It's awesome what they've been able to achieve. I mean, that freaking what is it? The PTGC. That's it.
Yep.
It's a freaking just straight up to the right price chart. And I unfortunately sold my bag a little too early on that one, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I made some pretty good gains out of it. I only put like a few $100. It shot straight up, from that point, and I sold, and it kept going up. And I'm like, all right, well, if it ever corrects, I'll be keeping an eye on it, man. If that thing ever corrects, like it gives us a good correction, like 80%. I think a lot of people would flood into it. People are waiting for that correction. Like by me, I'm not going to buy it now. I'm just not. Could keep going up. It could keep going up.
You're talking about buying the dip. That's something that a lot of people don't actually do. It's really much easier said than done. A lot of people are buying PDI at the top now. They didn't want to buy it at a third of a penny.
Right.
So it's like, it's just funny. It's like we're all victims to our own human emotions. That's why Hex, at the end of the day, stake it, forget about it, chill. It was designed to make people less emotional. Because I know I'm an emotional buyer. If I see something going up, of course I want to buy the thing that's going up.
Of course.
Of course. Everyone is. It's human nature.
It's human nature. It's hard. It's hard to control that emotion. And I don't know if you can't stop the emotion, but controlling it is you could do that. You can control it. You can not buy that price chart. Like I have to it takes a lot of self-discipline to not buy green candles.
Yeah. Well, reframing it on yourself is the thing to do. If you really believe in the coin, you need to have reasons that you actually believe and internalize those reasons, not just some guy is talking about it. I'm going to blindly follow this guy because he's talking. Like people are going to talk about stuff when they're pumping because it's exciting. Like we're talking about PDI because it's pumping and it's really exciting. But does that mean just because we're talking about it that it's a good time? I mean, who knows? Maybe it just goes straight to $1, but it probably could correct at some point. What if it hits 5 cents and then it just fizzles out because nobody's pegging it immediately? You might have another dip buying opportunity in 2 more months. And we have to internalize. If you really believe in it, you're still buying dollars for 1 penny.
Yeah.
If you really believe. So, I don't have the answer for sure. That's why, again, it's just partial allocation and do what you can.
Yep, I agree. Hey, man, what's going on with the Pulse Chain Foundation, man? You've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I mean, you got us on freaking MXC, which was really super cool.
Oh, yeah.
Pumping the shit up our bags, man. I mean, thank you for that.
Thanks.
What you got any new news coming up on the horizon that you guys are doing over there?
Actually, not really right now. I mean, we're always open to more deals, more partnerships, especially with like bridge protocols. I think it'd be really cool to get some partnerships down with stuff like a D bridge or, maybe Rocket X exchange and get it easier for people, for example, on Solana or Base to come bridge over. But no, so far, what we've done with the community, and this is all community driven, which is great. Shout out to everybody. There's a good handful of people that donated for the MEXC listing. So we got that. That was a big success. It onboards a lot of people. It's even listed on the pulsechain.com homepage. And, obviously never keep your coins on exchanges, but MEXC is kind of an upper tier exchange. It's good to have at least one of the big ones after Pulse got delisted off OKX.
I know. I remember that.
That was pretty bad. That was rough. But on top of that, I think we've also, we've filed an amicus brief for Richard to defend him in his case. And that was filed by ICANN, which is a bunch of SEC lawyers that are, it was ex-SEC people that want to make a foundation against SEC overreach. So we got those guys to file an amicus brief and help defend Richard. That was all,
awesome.
All covered by us and stuff. And then what else? Oh, Apple Pay and Google Pay. You can now buy Pulse Chain on alchemypay.org with like your credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay in the USA. So that's just like a USA on ramp. That's kind of cool as well. So
Does that work like a MoonPay? Like, you know how you have that MoonPay option in MetaMask?
basically the same thing. Yeah, basically. And I think you can even probably put that widget in different apps and stuff. So if people want to, a lot of people are using the Change Now widget, but you might get a better price with Alchemy Pay's widget as well. I don't know. They're both going to charge like a 3 to 5% fee for convenience, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, man, that convenience right there onboards retail. Like, that's literally the tools that we
Yeah.
need.
A lot of people don't care. A lot of people, they just want to buy the coin. They don't care if it's a 5% fee. Crypto can go up 10% in one day. Like, why would they
They
care
don't care.
in the long run, right?
That
But
is
we do
right.
have to we do have to say, like, if you do want the best deals for the highest limits, use the bridge. If you want the best deals for, let's say, 6 figures or maybe under, right now, use Coast.
Yep. That's what we tell our community too. That's exactly what we say. When we keep it under 50, we say, hey, if you're bringing in $50,000 or more, come in through like a Coinbase, a Kraken, use the bridge, use USDC. It's a lot of liquidity there. Or if it's under 50 grand, support Coast. Coast is also very user friendly. You wire money in, you literally mint money on the blockchain. It's freaking seamless. Or you can have an account with them with what's the name of the bank? It's Old Glory Bank, and you can have an account there. And literally, they say you're on a Saturday evening. As from my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, if you have money on the Old Glory Bank, and say it's Saturday night, and you want to go buy some Pulse Chain, but it's in fiat in their bank, you are able to convert it from their bank into stablecoin. Is that accurate? Or
I
somewhat?
haven't tried I have not tried it on a weekend. It's very quick. It's basically, I think it moves at the speed of your bank. So no matter what I have an Old Glory Bank. Like I like it. I made one. It's a nice backup bank account. You might have it might be good to have a couple backup bank accounts. You never know. And they're very crypto friendly.
You're out here on this tropical island with me where our banks suck. So I have multiple banks because of that.
It's crazy to me that in 2024, some banks will actually shut you off for even doing a Coinbase transaction. It's ridiculous. Yes. Man, they really don't want the poor people to get richer. That's for sure. The power structure, the banking cartel, they want to keep people in their place.
Yeah, they're threatened by this, man. They're threatened by us, the ecosystem, crypto, DeFi specifically. But even like you said, even with Coinbase and Kraken, I don't run any crypto transactions through the banks out here just because I've heard too many horror stories. In fact, I'm going to be in Panama in January for Randy Hilarski's No Permissions event. If you guys are out there, please, come say hi. Let's hang out. Let's have lunch. Let's have coffee. I'll be speaking at that event. And it'll be fun. So I'm going to also set up a bank account out there because from my understanding, they are very crypto friendly. Randy, he's got some connections out there as far as banking. Like literally you can if you want to off ramp some ETH, from my understanding, you could tell them, hey, I want to off ramp $20,000 in ETH. They'll send you a 0x address. And you can, send the ETH to their 0x address. And then, the next day you have 20 grand fiat in your bank. I was like, wow, that's the way it should be. Like, that's awesome. Nice. Yeah. And so I'm totally 100%. If that's the case, when I get out there, I'll figure it out. Right. Like I'll do more due diligence when I'm there. But I'm setting up an account, man. I'm like, I want to have multiple in and out places, that way if like the world goes to shit or something bad happens, I have ways to get to my money, basically.
Yep. So. Yeah, that's where we're heading. That's where we're heading. And right now with Coast, it doesn't matter what bank you have. If you're in the USA or if you're in, I think 170 countries, there's a lot of countries out there that you can make an account and they'll give you a temporary bank account. You just send money from your bank to your Coast bank, either by wire transfer or by ACH, Swift, whatever it is. And I think it takes 1 to 3 business days. Typically more so like 1, especially if you're on a weekday. And then there's no limits. I mean, I think you can transfer as much. You're only limited by the amount that your personal bank account limits you. So if you have like a $25,000 wire transfer limit, that's like, that's Chase's limit. That's not Coast's limit.
Yeah. And you can up those limits by calling the bank and let them know that you need access to more capital. Like I have a B of A account where basically I can do whatever amount out of it, because when I was doing real estate, we had to do some pretty big wires for when we were closing deals. And so like I don't have any restrictions, but when I remember when I first set it up, I think there was like a $20,000 restriction if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. Well, cool, man. I mean, any updates, any news? I know we have the guys. This is also another one, and I know you're kind of part of this too, Coffee. That we have the blockchain week coming up here in Puerto Rico. That should be good. I am trying to attend it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I live here in Puerto Rico, guys, but I have another event that I'm doing during that week. But there's going to be a whole like barbecue that the Pulse Chain community is kind of getting together and organizing there for that event. And so it should be a good get together,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's a Pulse Chain beach party sponsored by all of us after ETH San Juan. So ETH San Juan is on December 12th. And on December 12th, at the end of the conference, there's going to be a party bus that goes to the beach party. We're going to have a pig roast, DJs. It's going to be a great time. And the goal is really for all the investors at Puerto Rico Blockchain Week to come. So new people looking for something to invest in and just get outside the echo chamber. But come if you want to. But I know it's like a pretty big trip for some people. But if you're already going to be at Puerto Rico Blockchain Week, you're going to have to come to this party. I don't think there's anything better going on.
Oh, we got the best one going on for sure. It's going to be a blast.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who always talk about, they want to come visit Puerto Rico to see if they want to make this an option for the whole tax savings thing. This could be your opportunity to come and visit, hang out for a couple of days. It's beautiful weather right now. And then, of course, hang out with us, right? And it'll be a good time to eat some pig on the freaking beach, man. It'll be awesome.
It'll be nice, yeah. And then shout out to Big K for he's setting a lot of that up.
Yeah,
too.
he's spearheading it. Which is really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get there. Like I said, I have another event going on at the same time. It's a virtual event, but that virtual event takes place like between 5 and 7. So like I have to leave like here in Dorado between 7 o'clock at night to get out there. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So that's the only issue. But it should be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun. What about are you planning on being at the Vegas event in March?
I gotta still plan that out. I gotta see what I've got going on. I know DCC also has his event in January, and I want to go to Vegas, but there's only so much Vegas I can handle. So like I might have to pick and choose my battles here a little bit. TBD on that one, but that'll be good. There's one event for the community in March 3, 6, 9. There's dollar cost cryptos thing, I believe, but that might only be for Citadel members. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, we might be even sponsoring the March event for our trust that we have. I don't know if you know much about it, but we have what's called a DeFi Wealth Trust for our community, where basically they can sell crypto into like real estate, or go into real estate after selling crypto and not pay taxes. They're deferred. They will have to pay it eventually.
Oh, really?
They can go between assets.
Is that a 1031?
It's exactly like a 1031, although it's not 1031, but it works exactly the same. It's a deferred tax trust. And so we're beating the drum, screaming at everybody to, if you're not doing like a Puerto Rico thing, or if you're in the US and you're looking for a way to kind of, harbor those crypto gains and still participate in other assets. Now, if you're going to go out and buy Lamborghinis, hookers and blow, this is not the trust for you. It's just not what it's not what it's for. But if you're like me, like I'm very passionate about wealth preservation. So we have a saying all the time that we want to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool, and use real estate and other real world assets as a wealth preservation tool, and not pay taxes all while doing it, which is why I'm in Puerto Rico. But this trust allows you to do that even in the, in the mainland. It works just like a 1031. You don't pay until you take money for yourself. It's called self-enriching. Once you self-enrich yourself, then you got to pay on that. But if you're like me and you're looking for that legacy wealth and you want your money to work for you for 10, 20, 30 years, like I'm not going to pull this money out even if I sell crypto, I'm not going to go buy a bunch of Lamborghinis and yachts and freaking, mansions. I'm locking this money in for legacy wealth for my
That's cool.
daughter.
That's something very, very interesting. I mean, I'm not really planning on getting into super heavy into real estate investing, but who knows in the future? Like that
We'll
sounds
be
like
here if you ever want it.
yeah, to
We're
not
here.
have to pay any to just roll it into something tax deferred sounds beautiful. I just
Yep.
want to answer a couple questions in the chat. Oliver is
Sure.
wondering about Coast and what nationality citizenships. I'm just on their website right now. It looks like if you go to zeroxcoast.com/markets, apparently they're available everywhere except for Belarus, Cuba, Iran, Myanmar, North Korea, Russia, Sudan, Syria,
Great.
Ukraine, Venezuela. So other than those countries, it's open to any nationality. Yes. We've got one more question. Best place for V3 liquidity. I personally prefer app.9inch.io. That's probably the best you're going to have right now. And let's see, on pulses, there's 2 different dies. Basically, if you want to know that the one that you're talking about is actually P die, just look for the logo. Look for the big yellow, blue and purple die logo. That's going to be P die. The contract address I think is 0x6B. If it begins with a 6B, I think that's the one. Oh, you were talking about Tower Bank. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about Tower Bank, but
that's the one in Panama is the Tower Bank that Randy that he uses. That's the one that you could do the 0x. You say, hey, I want to send you some Ethereum, and they'll send you a 0x address, and then you can off ramp directly through the bank. It's like that's insane.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very nice.
Yeah, they're very crypto friendly over there, which I wish more countries were. Man, we don't have a lot. Now, hopefully after.
Yeah, we've got 4 good years ahead, allegedly.
Yeah, like things are looking positive. We could be, rolling that direction after January. We'll see. We'll see. I would love to see more adoption and more user-friendly crypto businesses, banks, everything in the U.S. Man, that would be banger, man. I would love that.
I'm hoping for the best, man. Hoping for the best.
Well, cool, man. Panama, here I am. Oh, Oliver, you're gonna be there. Cool, man. Let's meet up, bro, for sure. And yeah, man. So go once you obviously everyone knows who you are, but feel free to shill your channel still.
Well, I guess technically we're streaming it on my channel too. So I think if you're watching it here, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're watching it on Corey's, like, subscribe. Do both.
Yep, absolutely. And man, so any last parting words before we hop off today? I appreciate you coming on. I hope you have an amazing effing Thanksgiving. I hope your bags pump hard during Turkey Day.
Yes. I wish everybody super mad gains. Enjoy it. Get these gains, whatever way you can. There's no right or wrong way to play this. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family. It's all going to work out. Be optimistic. Try not to focus too much on social media, touch grass. I mean, look, some people will tell you the opposite. I'll tell you to go touch grass. If that resonates with you, like and subscribe. If you want to be in the trenches scrolling every day, well, good luck. Good luck to everybody. I think as long as you just survive in this ecosystem, you're going to make it.
And that's it, man. That's totally it. And guys, if you want to come over, subscribe to my show. What we talk about all the time is, like I said it once already, is using cryptocurrencies, that wealth creation tool. And I feel like Pulse Chain ecosystem is the place to do that at. This is the opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion, not financial advice, just a dude speculating on the internet. And then we also talk about how we can preserve that wealth once we make the gains, because I feel like that's never talked about enough, and not only in our ecosystem, but this is everywhere in life, is that wealth preservation stage. And that's why you see like actors and baseball players or whoever, they get rich and then they blow it all on hookers and blow, and they're broke like 5 years later.
Old as time.
Yeah, that's it. It's like you need to become a millionaire here and here first before you become a millionaire here and keep it, and then preserve it and lock that legacy wealth in for generations to come, and break that chain, that curse of mediocrity of 9 to 5, relying on stupid 401ks that barely gets you by, so that way you're broke to the day you die. This is what we're here.
That's pretty it's pretty inspiring. I appreciate your wisdom. That's pretty good stuff.
That's the stuff where I'm passionate about, man. It's creating memories and experiences with my loved ones, and making sure they're going to be okay. So it's and have a lot of fun with you guys while we're at it, man. And it's been fun, man. This has been a blast. So, Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate it again, dude. Happy Turkey Day to you and all you guys. I should be streaming tomorrow. Not a guarantee. Busy ass week because of the holiday. And then that'll be it. And I'll be back the following week, man. So, Copy. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
See you guys.
Bye.